Hello all, good morning. Today we are going to learn the most important topic in React.js, which is related to e-commerce applications. Okay, in any e-commerce applications, this maintaining the cart information is the most important thing, right? So today we are going to understand the fundamentals, like how this cart is working. Okay, it's very simple. So we should store some information which is common to all the components, and in from any component we should able to update that information also. So if you see right now the cart information, like we have 5 items, so just search anything like iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this is different component. Okay, right, these are the different components in the applications. We are going to another component now. This is a product display page. So here we have, this is also another component. This is, sometimes you can create another component with this also. So everything is interlinked. So now if you click on add to cart, okay, if you click on add to cart, so for 5 items are there, and whenever you click on add to cart, so it is going to store the information in the common place, and so add it to the cart. And now just scroll up, and if you see, the information is displaying here. Information like it will hold all the product details, but it is just displaying the count. That means the whole information of this application, the cart information especially, we are storing in a one common place. And here two things are important. One is we should able to read this information, and at the same time we should able to add a new items to the cart from any place in the application. So I will show you a simple diagram. So here this is the root component, and these are the child components. Okay, these are the child components. Suppose what we need to do, we need to maintain the state in a common place, that is a card. Okay, that is the card. That is the card. Like we will deal with the context. Okay, already we have understand how to deal with the context. So once you should just attach this context to this component, we understood already that anyone from this children can access that information. Suppose there's a card information is right now, uh, the 5 items are there, and of course we can, you can hold the product details in the array, and anyone like from this component, from this component, or this component, or this component, from anyone in this component tree can access that information. Okay, that one direction is completed. But what we need to do, suppose this is the product page, this is like a iPhone 14 or something. Here we have a button called add to cart. Add to cart. So whenever you click on this button add to cart, and we should store that information again to the cart. Means you can access this information. Suppose here this is the checkout page. This is the checkout page. Okay, what is the checkout page means? So if you see, if you click on this one, you will go to the different page. Okay, so here it will showing like what are the items you already selected. Okay, what are the items you already selected. So from where this information is coming, again it is taking the information from the cart, that context, and it is displaying here. Okay, so for example, this will be the like the checkout page. Okay, checkout page. So the same information which is there in the cart, we are able to read that information from this cart to this checkout page, and we are able to display all the product details which you have already added to the cart. So this is one direction. That means we should able to read the information from the cart. That is easy, because if you create any context and if you store some information, and if you just wrap that to any root component, all the children's in that root component can access that information. But here the most important thing is, another part is, we should able to add information from any component. We should able to add the information to from any component. Okay, so sorry, I need to draw it properly. So this is in the opposite direction. So if you just create a simple context, it's not possible to update the details into the card directly. So here the most important thing is what we can do. We can take help from a reducer. So if you take help from a reducer, we can implement that. Okay, if you store any information in the context, you can read the information from any component. At the same time, you can update the information from any component in this component tree. So the same logic is working for the cart page. Okay, but okay, few people will achieve this with the help of context and reducer. Same thing we can achieve with the help of redux. Okay, redux is another third party tool. So with the help of redux we can achieve the same thing. Okay, compared to this context plus reducer, redux has some more advantages. Okay, but it will work in a similar fashion. Okay, what is redux and what are the advantages with redux compared to context plus reducer pattern? So that we can learn after a few days. Okay, first we should understand how to deal with the context and reducer. So for simple application, first we no need to go for a redux. Okay, if you're already familiar with the redux, I'm just saying for simple application we should not go for the redux. We can achieve the things with the context plus reducer. Okay, now we are going to learn first of all with a simple example how to combine this context and reducer and how to wrap that to the app component. Then from different components, how to update the information, how to read the information. Once you achieve that, then you can focus on the Amazon clone. So you can create product listing page, and from different places you can update the details and you can read the information. Okay, so understood what is the context for today, Varun?
Yeah, Raghu. Yes.
Fantastic. You are watching this video, watch till the end and do practice. Okay, definitely you will fall in love with this concept. Sorry.
Raghu, your voice is not coming.
Yeah, just a minute. Okay. Oh my god. Kotumulaste. Okay, fine. Okay. So here, I think already we have a simple complementary app, and we have defined A, B, C, D, right? Hopefully, if you're watching this series, you have remembered B, C, and D, and we have E also. We have E also. Sorry for the noise. So let me import component A, COMP component A. Let me recollect what's the component name. The component A only. Why it is not showing intelligence? No problem. Component A. from components folder in component A and just add it. Anything is fine. So here we have a app component and we have a component. Okay. Just let me refresh. Okay. It's very simple. We have a component A, component B, component C, component D, and component D is a child of component C. Component C is a child of component B. Component B is a child of component A, and component A is a children of app component. So we are just maintaining that tree. So here in this diagram, just understand this. Okay, we have just implemented this one. App component A, B, C, D. I hope it's easy. I hope you guys understood. So now, okay, let me remove all the other contexts from there so that we can save some time. Okay, I'm just going to component D. I'm just removing this user's information, context information. This user contact. Right now, we are not going to use user contact. Later, okay, if you want, you can use it. Okay, fine. Now it's very simple. It is displaying component A, B, C, D, and even component A, component C. We have used other context. Right now, don't worry. Simple. Now we are going to maintain the simple information, or we can go and implement the cart only. It's very interesting for you, right? Cart and count only, not product details. Okay. What I'm doing, first of all, okay, we understand that we need a context and reducer, right? So let's create a reducer quickly so that it's going to be very easy for us. So here I'm just taking constant initial initial state equal to the simple. We can check the cart count, otherwise just make it count is equal to 0. So we should able to add the new items to the cart. um, in future we can make it complex, and we can understand how to build a cart. So now understand simple functionality, how to update the context information and how to read the information from the context with the help of context plus reducer. That is fine. So here I'm just creating another function called reducer. Okay, Varun, just tell me what are the parameters for the reducer?
State action.
Okay, very good. So who are watching this video, if you're completely familiar, you can forward the video for 2 minutes. Otherwise, just do practice along with me so that you will learn quickly. So action dot type. Okay, if action dot type is add item to the cart. Okay, okay, so I'm just adding like the simple add. Okay, later we can make it complex. The return. So what we need to return? We need to return the new state, that is count is equal to state dot count, because this is a previous state, and plus one. Okay. So first just add the default case so that the warning will be gone. Okay, in the default case we will return what is the state, exactly the current state. Okay, here at the same time add, and we can do remove also, because you can remove items from the cart also, right? So that remove the remove. So here I'm just putting -1. That's it. So our reducer is also ready. So if you have done a practice, it's very easy. If you don't do practice, reducer will just put you into the confusion. So please do practice multiple times. So now here I'm going to take use reducer. I'm just adding all the state in the app component itself on the root component. So what I'm doing in this root component, I'm maintaining the the card information, or with the help of context we can just provide that information to all the children. So right now, simply I'm just adding this context. What is that? Uh, Varun, just tell me, for use reducer, what are the parameters we need to provide
State and dispatch.
here for reuse reducer? Parameters first.
Initial state and the function reducer.
Okay. So what we can do? Reducer and initial state. This order is also very important. Okay. Now what it will return?
State and dispatch.
Very good. State and dispatch. Okay. Dispatch is a method and state is a object. Okay. Fine. Our cart is ready. And here from any component, suppose I want to display the state information. I want to display the state information. Okay, normally we are displaying the state information here, right? The card page. So here also, here also in the app component, just create a simple header. So what I'm doing here, is there any header for us? We, okay, I think we have a header. I'm not sure how much it is good. Okay, this is my header. So let me, no problem. We can import the header and we can just add it for understanding purpose. Okay. Later, of course, we are going to design it properly. The header is there. Just copy. So what I'm doing, I'm just adding a header here. Okay. In this header component, I want to display the card here. Okay. Let's see first of all header is displaying or not. So we have a header. We have a header, and here in the last, of course, because if, I think Varun, you already know, right, how to add icons and everything. I think you have. I think, yeah, yes, you have designed everything properly. So now, what we need to do, we need to display the cart count here. The cart count here. Let's see. We can do that. Okay, quickly. So for that, we need to provide the information in the cart. So what we need to do, okay, not only that in the header component, so even any other component in the application can read that information. So if you want to provide that facility, we should add that information in the cart. Okay, we should add that information in the cart. So here the complex part will come. So observe carefully. So our goal is we should display the cart information in the header, and we should able to update the cart from the component D. Okay. So here we should able to display the information of the cart in the header. Of course, just add a header somewhere here. Okay, header component is also part of app component, right? It's a sibling. So and at the same time we should able to update the cart from the component D. So for that we need to create two contexts. Okay. So first of all, let's go with the cart context. It's easy. Once you understand that, it's easy to design another one. So for that, I'm just creating another. Um, so where we have created context, where user context is here. Okay. Otherwise, we can do one thing. We can create a separate file. Like I'm just displaying like a cart context. So what are the contexts you required? You can create in that context. Otherwise, make it simple. Okay. So we need a cart context. Okay, cart context dot js. Okay, simple. So how to create a context? We know. Just import. Okay, otherwise it will come constant cart context is equal to the react dot create context. Okay. So what is the initial value? Just make it 0, because we are dealing only cart, that is a simple cart. So here just import the react from react. Okay. So just export it. Export default. Okay, default also fine. Whatever it is, default cart. So you just exported the cart context. Okay. Otherwise, what we can do, okay, here, okay, if you want another context, suppose if you want to create multiple context which are related to the cart context, you can add those contexts also here and export it. Okay. Right now, okay, we are dealing with the cart context. Let's come finish that, and then we can understand the remaining. So just import the cart context from cart context file. Okay. So here, what is important for us? What is important for us? Understand carefully. Okay, whatever the information, okay, because I want to share this cart count information to all the components in our component tree. So then what we can do, we can just wrap the wrap the context to the app component, right? We can wrap that cart context to the app component, and if you just provide the value as a cart state, and then that information will be available for all the components. Okay, I hope you're following what I'm saying. What understood what I'm saying? Is it clear?
Yeah, Raghu.
Because once you create a card component, card context, you should able to deal with the provider. So here, okay, even you can go with the capital letter. Okay, every time I forgot. Right, no problem. So what I'm doing, I'm just wrapping. I'm just creating this card context dot provider. Okay, this is very important, right? So, and I'm just wrapping it up with the JSX of the app component. So that means I'm just attaching the card context to the app component. I'm just attaching card context to the app component. And we should not forget to provide the value. Okay, value, we can provide 0 so that it will be available for all the components. Or here when we are maintaining the state, right? Just pass that state. Whatever the state is available in the app component, I'm just giving a reference to that so that you can read this state from any component in the component. What we are doing here, we have created a context, and this app component is maintaining some state in the user the state, and we just provided through the cart context dot provider so that any component in this component tree can read that count information. Okay, that's what already we have learned. So only thing is, here we just hard coded, or even you can initialize any value, or even you can pass any information which is there in the use state of that app component. Anything is fine. The only thing is, so either you can hard code the value, or you can provide any any object information, state information, so that it will take this object, and it will provide that object to all the components in the component tree. So now we should first, what is our target? We should able to read the information from the code page, or you can read from component D, C, whatever. Even you can create 100,000 components, you can read that information. But here, so if you want to achieve this Amazon, so simply we should able to read that information in the header so that we can display. So now just go to the header component, because already this header is a child of the app component. That is very important. If this header is not a child of a app component tree, so we should not able to access it. So fine. So go to header.jsx, and it's very simple, right? So import, okay, we should take help from the one hook, that is use context. Okay? Use context will help us to read information from the context. Okay, use context will help how to read information from the context, whatever the information in the context, if it is a object, array, or a string, or a boolean, or it is a function, it will provide that to you. So use context is there. So here what I'm doing, hmm, So constant, the value is equal to use context. But here we should provide the information from which context you want to read the information. So I want to read the information from the cart context. Or if you want to read information from the user context, yes, just provide the user context reference here. So here we need to read the information that is a cart context from the cart context. I think maybe I've given a wrong spelling. So let me correct it. Is that cart alphabetical order? Just rename it. Cart context. So fine. Here also, hopefully it is updated properly. Very good. The header, okay. Yeah. Cart context. So just provide that reference so that this use context will help us to read the information what is there in this card context so that the value here. So here you can simply say that so cart and just provide the value. So you see whether you are able to read the information or not. Yes, right now the cart value is 0. And if you are able to add, suppose if you just provide add to cart information, if you click on that button, that count should be increased. That count should increase, right? What you understood so far?
Yeah, Raghu.
Yeah, even if you have any other component in the component tree, suppose if you want to display any card information by any chance, yes, obviously same thing. That component should be the part of app component tree, and from any component you can read that information. So for that, I'm going to explain you. So in the card component D also, I will show you how to read that information. This is a use context, right? Same thing, import for understanding purpose, I'm saying. Right now, it is not required for us to display here like constant value equal to use context of okay card context. And here, if you see from this place also, we should able to read the information. Right now, the card information. So if you see here also 0, here also 0. If you update in the reducer that state, okay, I think if you are using this card information in 1,000 components in that component tree, yes, everywhere it is going to reflect. Okay, everywhere it is going to reflect. So let's understand that. Okay, if first part is done. First part is done. That is okay. If you have a card information, we are able to read the information from the header or any checkout page or any other component from the component tree. So that we understand. So Varun, is it clear for you up to this point?
Yeah, clear, Raghu.
Now the most important thing, like most interesting thing actually. So how to, because here I have a button, here I have a button, here I have a button that add to cart. So whatever it is, it's an add. If I click on this button, we should update this information. Right now the card information is 0, right? Right now the card information is 0. Right now the card information is 0. And we are trying to display that information from the header component and the component D itself, okay, for just learning purpose. But here whenever I click on this button, I should able to increase the value or decrease the value. Okay, okay, first of all, Varun, just tell me, okay, how to use this reducer, how to increment this value which is there in this state,
We need to add a button and add dispatch function here.
right? Very good. Because first of all, you should know how to deal with the use reducer. Okay, you can use this dispatch method and provide the action. Okay, what's just provide the action as an argument. Then automatically it will interact with this reducer, and the reducer will take care how to update the value. So right now, what I'm doing. So this is the cart page, right? This is the cart page. So in this cart page, suppose if you have a button, okay, in this cart page, if you have a button, I'm just adding a button, a button, add on this on click, on click. So what we need to do here, we should use dispatch method. dispatch method. And what we need to pass? So we should just pass the information. What is the type? So here the type is add. So just give a proper spelling which this reducer is just defined. Add. That's it. Observe carefully. Observe carefully whether it is going to work or not. It is not going to work. That means I did some mistake. Let's cross check what's the mistake. Varun, just tell me any mistake from my side. Dispatch type add. What's the mistake here? If you mean reduce the recollection of children use an array instead, objects are not valid as a result. React chain. If you want to render the collection of children use an array instead. Okay, I think we did a small mistake. What's that? Uh-huh. Already I have commented this one. Why it is not showing it? Why it is showing error? Button on click dispatch. Nothing wrong here. My knowledge. Can't provide dispatch method. Can anyone who are watching this video just try to find out what is the mistake? Just comment it. Okay, okay, no problem. Yeah, so this is the result. Not going. Oh, it's good. It's good to get some errors so that we can understand clearly what's happening. NPM start. I'm just closing this one again. So hopefully I did the right thing. Context is done. Okay, we can attach that to the provider. That's
Is there anything wrong with the context?
context.
Card context should be capital or small.
That is not big deal. That is our choice. But previously it was working, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, something went wrong. I think after adding this button, let me then cross check. I'm not sure why it is taking too much time to render actually. This context is done. Okay, we did any mistake with the context? Context how we have defined? Yeah, it's an object only, initial count 0 only. So,
Can you open console? Check once.
it's not valid as a React chain. Keys count render a collection of children. Render a collection of children. The error occurred in the H1 component.
I think child components are something wrong.
Child
Header
ID.
and component A.
Component A.
Value.
See, okay, previously it was working anyway. This is the H1 component. Okay. Use an array instead. I think here also we are using a count, right? Otherwise, it will. Initial state, reducer, dispatch is perfect actually. So I'm just taking like a cart. Let's see whether it is the problem with here this information or not. So I'm just putting like a cart on. We are trying to read information from the component D and at the same time the header component. The header component that is fine. So, okay. This create context, right? So that's maybe this is one because here initial state we are just dealing with just number and maybe it would be the issue. No, at least we have removed everywhere, right? Work properly. Okay, object with keys card. If you mean to render a collection of children, use an array instead. Mhm. Right, it's just this or card only. Use an array instead. Why? Use array.
Here, instead of giving in context object, just give array and of zero like that. It will work maybe.
Where?
In create context is another component.
Here?
Card count. Here just remove the object and give array of zero. Maybe it will work. I don't know.
No. Whatever do, we should be able to do in a meaningful way. So here, if you just go with the array, and everywhere we should go with the array only. Object, zero. Of course, because previously, apart from the adding button, it's working, right? It was working. At least that should work, right? PM star. Mm, maintaining in the array. So we can do one thing. So any problem with maintaining the context with the array, like the normal value? So we can do one quickly. We can make it array itself. Okay, cart value. Okay. Here what we can do?
Raghu, we are passing that state as a value, right? There, state dot cart. We need to pass like that.
In which line?
Can you go down? Line number 28. In value, we are passing an only state, right? We need to pass
Yeah,
state
that
dot
is
cart.
no, no, no. That is fine. We are reading. Okay, okay, okay. State dot value. Perfect,
Uh,
perfect, perfect, perfect. Now understood, understood, understood. The component A, where we are reading component D, right?
yeah,
Yes, this is uh, dot content.
cart, yeah. Cart, Raghu, not count.
Okay, whatever it is. Okay, we can roll back. Yeah, that is was a mistake. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Because initially we have provided zero, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now it's simple. The count is zero, and here also it's better to add a count. Make it count. That is fine. So anyway, if you are dealing with context, okay, state dot count is also fine. Or you can read that value in the component D, and you can put dot count. Otherwise, just if you pass the state dot count, so this is perfectly fine. So again in the header.js, we are getting the value. That is fine. That is fine. This is fantastic. Okay, hopefully it should work now. Okay, we should start.
And in reducer function, cart is fine or count we need to give none of this?
Sorry, reducer.
Reducer function, cart, we have mentioned as cart, right? Line number 15.
Yeah, this is count. Yeah, this is count. Save it. Yeah, it is working. The count value is zero. So now, okay, this is fantastic. Very good, Varun. So now we can add a button. We can add a button. Just add. Okay, button add. So on click, what we need to do? We should use a dispatch. We should use a dispatch method and just provide the type as add. Okay. Otherwise, you can put like add to cart. Save it. Fantastic. Hopefully, it should work now. So we have a button. I think I have placed that button in the app component outside. Okay. Anyway, that is fine. So if you see, it is working. So if you are able to add item to the cart in the common place, and how many places you are going to use that card information, it is going to work out. But understood now so far?
Yeah, Raghu, understood.
Now our goal is from component D itself, we should able to add the item. So this is our goal. So from component D, we should able to add item. So otherwise, from where? Any component, any child component in this. So for that also we need another context. We need another context. So that is, I'm just creating another context here. Tomorrow we can optimize the code. Right now, so reducer context. So I'm just giving a reducer context dot js. So here quickly create another context for import React from React. Okay, and constant reducer context equal to React dot create context. So here, what is the default value? Okay, if you have any confusion, just make it null, because sometimes you don't know what you are going to add. It's better to add a null if you don't have an idea. So simply export, because if you put null, you can add any information there. Export to default and reducer context. That's fine. So we have a reducer context. Now what I need to do? I need to import this state. So here our goal is, so how you are attaching the state to the context, in the same way, you can attach this reducer, the dispatch function, okay, dispatch from the reducer also to the context. So here the two things are very important, right? One is a state and dispatch. So everyone in the component tree got access to the state so that they are able to read the information. So now this dispatch, because if you want to add any item or remove any item from the cart, you should have a reference to this dispatch function. So I'm going to create another context. I'm going to attach this function to that context, so that who is going to use that context, everyone can access that. It's very, very simple. So for now I'm going to import that one. Import, what is that? Reducer context from the proper path. So now observe carefully what I'm doing here. Here, reducer context. Okay, reducer context. This reducer just wrap this one also to the app component. So now we have two reducers. One reducer, that is a card context. Sorry, that is a context, and we are providing the state information here dot provider. Okay, just reducer context that provider. Here, what is the value I'm passing now? What is the value I'm passing? Okay, here we are passing the count information. Here I'm just passing the directly dispatch. Okay, just take this dispatch function and just distribute to all the components in the component tree, so that from any component in the component tree, they can use this function. So right now how we are, because this is there in the same component, that's why you are able to access dispatch directly. So here component D is there. Okay, how to pass that reference of that dispatch function from app component to component D? So for that we are taking help of another context, that is called reducer context. Now if you see, so same thing you can achieve. So component D. So here import, what is that? Reducer context from the proper path. Here also you can constant. Uh, Again, you can give a same name, no problem. Dispatch. From where you will get this dispatch, Varun?
Reducer context.
Reducer context. That's it. So just add a button here, here. Add item to cart, whatever it is. Okay. And then on on click event. So what is the method? That is again dispatch. That dispatch is coming from where? The context. So here just provide the type add. Let's see whether it is going to work or not. Okay, so here add item to the cart. Varun, just tell me whether it is going to work or not.
Yeah, a bit.
That's it. That's it. So how cart is working? Now understand carefully. So that this this state and the reducer is attached to the root component. So from any component in the componentry of this Amazon application or any e-commerce application, from anywhere, if you have a dispatch, if you have a dispatch function, okay, reference, and you can add item to the cart. So let's add delete item also. Delete item from the cart. So now you can go and create a e-commerce application with more confidence. So here, what we have done, delete or any other thing, the reducer, remove. Okay, so this is very important. This is just a simple count as a like number, right? So in the next session, we are going to understand how to deal with the complex information. So fine. Next one is a remove item. Remove item. Save it. Okay. So just refresh so that it will be fast. So 0 count is increasing. Now I want to remove the item from the cart. Working, Varun?
Yeah, Raghu.
Now you have a clarity how this cart is working.
Yeah. How to display the product information in the card.
Yeah. Okay. Suppose in this cart, just okay. What I'm doing? Okay, let me do one more thing. So here, cart. Okay. Here, what is that? Product ID. Product one. Price 60,000. Like a title. Title iPhone something. iPhone 14 or something. So like that, just add items to the cart. Okay. Okay. Right now you have three items. One at one, one at two, and one at. So right now, okay, I'm just giving it for 6,000 only. So if you want to pass that products information, what you need to do, Varun, here instead of count, so otherwise we can do one thing. We can just pass total state. Okay, complete state. So if you want to count, you can deal with the count. If you want to cart, you can go with the cart, right? So component D, what we need to do modifications. This is a state, right? This is a state. What we can do here, state dot count. Okay. The header also. Where is that header? Header also, because we are passing entire state, so that it's an object. Just the state object dot count we have. Okay. Let's see first of all whether it is without breaking whether it is working or not. Add item working, remove item, it's working. So now you want to display the in the header. Observe carefully, Varun. In the component D, you are able to read the count at the same time cart information, right? Now if you see what I'm doing here, state dot cart is an array, right?
Yeah, Raghu.
Array dot map. Mhm. Item arrow mark. Suppose I'm just putting like a paragraph. Okay. What you can do here? Item dot ID. Okay. Item dot title. Title. Just pass key as well. What is that? Item dot. Let's see whether you are able to read the value or not. If you provide the proper ID and the title, hopefully, I've given a. Okay, so this is a product ID and title. That's it. So we need to be very careful. Are you able to read?
Yeah, Raghu.
Same thing. Just provide image, title, description, everything, and you're able to
I
read the
mean,
state.
on click we need to add, right?
Yeah, on click we need to add item that we can learn tomorrow. Okay, okay. First understand basic thing like how to combine context and reducer, and if you're able to work with a simple count, once you understand that flow, so tomorrow we are going to learn how to add items to the cart. Like we are going to take this one. So here we are initially we will take the cart 0 of that array, and from component D, if you click on that button, okay, we can display the product listing page, and from that, if you click on add item to the cart, we can add item to the context in the cart. Okay, that we can learn from.
Okay, Raghu. Thank
And it's
you.
very simple. It's very simple. It is also very like if you add item to the cart one, right? Let me do that for you. So for that one, what you need to do? You need to do a changes in the reducer, right? Got it? Add item to the cart. What you need to
Yeah,
do?
got it. Yeah.
Just do it. Just do a practice. You will get an idea how to do this. Okay, that's all for today. We understand how to combine the context with the reducer. This maybe if you don't do practice, 100% you can't understand. 100% you can't remember. Please do practice multiple times. I'm saying multiple times because here context is there, reducer is there, state is there, and we are using a use reducer, and you will get some confusion. Okay, so if you do a practice, just create a component tree properly from root component, just attach the state at the same time, the method as well, the two different contexts, then any component from this component tree can access that. Just try to implement that. Okay. Thank you, and see you tomorrow again at the same time, and tomorrow we are going to understand how to deal with the original card. Okay, let's do that. Okay, thank you, Varun, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Okay, bye, Varun.